Hey guys, we are really excited to share with you a little anatomical breakdown of downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Now this is a pose that you're going to see in nearly every single yoga class, and the reason being is because it is fantastic for our body, especially a modern day 2021 body. So we're going to jump straight into that for you guys. Tyler's going to demo for us. But one thing I want to talk to you guys about is our base. That is one of the most important parts of downward facing dog, or any pose for that matter, is our foundation. What you guys will notice about Tyler's hands is his fingers are spread wide apart. His fingertips are gripping down, they're white. Now, from the hands, we want a nice bend through the wrists and then digging the heel of our hand into the earth, pushing the floor away. So we're finding this length through the shoulders. You might be able to feel that if you kind of drop down, don't push so far away, and then really push hands into the earth. We want to make sure that we're pushing our hands down as much as we can. So what you guys will notice is for the upper half of Tyler's body, we're building strength, which is fantastic. And the lower half, we're building length. That's our purpose for downward facing dog. So take away what you think it should look like. This is what it should feel like. Strengthening upper body, lengthening lower body. Now, Tyler has a beautiful V-like shape through his hips. Very commonly, people think they need their heels to the ground, which brings them into this U-like shape. And that's a pretty big difference for what's going on inside of the body. The movement itself might not look big, but the ramifications from an anatomical standpoint are huge. So the way that we achieve this neutral lumbar spine, this neutral lower back, that's what we're looking for, is by taking a bend in the knees. That's taking the stretch from the lower half out of the lower back, like when we're in this U-like shape, and bringing that now into the hamstrings, which is where we're wanting to find this length. So by taking a bend in the knees, lifting the heels just up off of the earth, and drawing the belly towards the thighs, that's what's creating this beautiful length through our hamstrings. Now for some of you, you may feel enough in the hamstrings. But if you want to try on a little bit more, energetically your sitting bones, start to turn them up towards the sky. Now that's an energetic movement. It's going to be very, very, very small, and it may not look like movement at all, but you will notice that this length amplifies through the hamstrings. Now if you're one of those yogis that can keep a straight lumbar spine and take your heels to the earth, awesome. But for a lot of us, our hamstrings are not that long. So we want to take a nice bend in the knees, draw the belly towards the thighs, and keep this beautiful V-like shape through the hips. Alright, there's one last little thing that I'd love to chat to you guys about, and that's through the upper half, wrapping of your triceps back. Tyler's just going to move views for you. Now this is an interesting movement and a strange one, and it might be one you want to try on a few times before it lands. You guys will notice Tyler, especially through his index finger and his thumb, that's grounding down a lot. We want to ensure that the knuckle mound is heavily pushing into the earth. But while we're using this L-like shape in the hand to ground down, we actually want to take our triceps, the outer upper arm, back in space. So what that looks like is almost eye of your elbow forward, wrapping your triceps back. What that creates in the body is space through this upper back. It's ensuring that we're not just dumping down and into this part of our shoulders, but we're actually wrapping the triceps back, finding space and strengthening through our shoulders rather than relying on the joint to hold the weight of our chest. All right, it's a lot. Downward facing dog is such a common posture, and we think that educating you guys on why we do these postures is so unbelievably important. If you have any questions at all about downward facing dog, or if it feels a little funky or maybe really good in your body, please send us a message. We'd love to give you any more info that you guys are looking for. but we really hope that that gave you a little bit more of an insight to why we do downward facing dog so much and why it's so fantastic for the body. Thanks, guys.